You're simply the best. Better than all the rest.
Hello and welcome back to the channel, it's JPA here. In today's video I'm going to be discussing Rangers' really impressive win at Parkhead today. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and we'll just get into this video right away. So if you haven't already seen the score, first of all, where have you been? It's finished Celtic 0, Rangers 2. Now if you'd given me this scoreline before the game, I'd have bitten your hand off, but I'm actually kind of disappointed at the way we finished the game. I thought we probably could have finished even stronger and perhaps maybe even scored more goals against them. They were really poor the day, Celtic, and that's nothing to take away from us. I thought we were brilliant from start to finish, and right from the off we went straight at them. We got a goal within 9 minutes. Ryan Kent, we got fouled, I think it was by Ayer, just maybe 20 yards outside the box or something. Tavernier got the free kick, fires it in. Connor Goldson's there just to glance it on. I thought the keeper probably could have done better, but it was annoying me how much the commentators were going on about how bad a defensive mistake it was from the goalkeeper. Not really giving Connor Goldson any credit for the fact that he kind of stepped off side, stepped back on just as the cross came in and managed to get a very good header on it. I thought the commentator, particularly Andy Walker, tried to kind of take the shine off it a bit. I thought it was a really good finish for Connor Goldson. I had to wait maybe a split second to make sure it wasn't offside before I actually started cheering, but I was really delighted with that. 9 minutes in and we're already a goal up. Not long after that we had Celtic's pretty much only real chance of the game. It was a little bit of a scare for us, and it was pretty much the only time that Connor Goldson made any sort of mistake. He got caught under the ball a little bit from a long ball. Tries to deal with it, kind of bounces a bit around a bit, and then El Yunusi gets in behind him. Now McGregor comes racing out to try and stop it, and all El Yunusi has to do is just either touch it on top, touch it over the goalkeeper, which was fairly easy to do in my opinion, or he had time to take it in a touch and pick his spot. He does neither of the things and he just blasts it over the bar. Quite a strange option for him, but absolutely delighted, and that, for me, that was the only time that Celtic ever threatened. Had a wee chance towards the end, which I'll talk about, but particularly in that first half, Celtic really just didn't lay a glove on us, and that was the only real scare in that first half. So after we went 1-0 up, we started getting that wee bit more confident on the ball. We started playing passes right across the pitch, and we started doing little like 1-2s and back heels and stuff on the edge of the Celtic area, which was really impressive. And one of them almost turned into a really well worked goal, where we had a couple of wee passing interchanges on the outside of the Celtic's box, a wee back heel, and then Morelos flicked it over to Tavernier. Tavernier hits it almost perfect on the volley, and it just whizzes right past the post. So it must have been just a couple of inches, and it would have been a really fantastic strike. I think if we were maybe 0-0 at that point and he'd done that, you'd be like, fucking hell, Tav, why are you hitting that? But I think it shows you the level of confidence that he's got when we're 1-0 up in an Old Firm game, and he's trying shots like that, a wee bit audacious, and it almost turned out to be a fantastic goal. Nothing really majorly happened in the first half. We had a couple of kind of half chances, and I think the only notable thing that happened just before half time was Morelos' wee slap to the back of the head to Scott Brown. Funny at the time, funny to laugh about, but I also think it'd be a different story if there was 60,000 Celtic fans inside the stadium and that had happened. They'd all be screaming and shouting for some sort of card there, and I think Brown probably would have made a meal of it as well. So that was the only thing I was thinking at half time when we went in 1-0, was that Morelos was getting involved in one or two silly little challenges and wee niggles. Apparently, according to Andy Walker, he left his elbow in the ribs of, I think it was Shane Duffy. Nowhere near an elbow, he's just trying to put him off when he jumped up for the header. That's all that was. But obviously there's a wee bit of hidden agenda with when it comes to Andy Walker talking about Morelos. He always seems to get these wee digs in. So anyway, we went in 1-0 half time, very confident. So I never mentioned there, maybe the last 15, maybe even 10 minutes of that first half, Celtic started to come into it a wee bit more. I got a wee bit more possession in the final third, but it didn't really penetrate us enough, and I'm expecting them to come out at half time and really put on a performance, and it just didn't come. And it was more from us 9 minutes into the second half when we got our second goal. Really good play down the right hand side involving Kamara, where he had a 1-2 with I think it was Arfield, got it back, played it back into Arfield. Arfield does a wee 1-2 on the edge of on the edge of the area with Morelos, and Arfield puts it right across the 6-yard box. And who's there? Is it our striker Morelos? Is it one of our attacking flair players? No, it's Connor Goldson, who was up there from the previous free kick. Still up there for some reason, and he's got to connect on the shot, blocked by Duffy, but as Duffy goes down, Connor Goldson gets a second snatch at it, and at first it looks a wee bit lucky. It looks like he's maybe just bounced off his toe or something, but he's definitely seen the replay that he actually placed it through Shane Duffy's legs for a really, really good finish, and that's 2-0. So after that we went 2-0 up, and honestly we actually just strolled the game. We were very, very confident in our passing. It was very controlled from our passing. A lot of times Celtic, when they were getting the ball, it was very hurried and they were just losing possession fairly cheaply and quite quickly. Whereas I think when we got the ball, we kind of looked up, played the passes and got into their passes into the right areas, and the passing was absolutely superb. Created one or two kind of half chances through Ryan Kent. I think one was like a real good tackle fire, and the other one was kind of blocked near the line. We were unlucky with that. And really the only time that they actually pushed us and gave us a little bit of a scare, but as I'll talk about later on, it wasn't really much of a scare. Lee Griffiths had came on, I think it was Callum McGregor in the middle, plays it through. Griffiths managed to get the touch first and jump over the onrushing Alan McGregor, gets it round the goalkeeper, but he's not really got anywhere to go. He kind of takes it too wide, and I don't know whether it was an attempted cross or a shot or whatever, but when he put it back in, McGregor was there to comfortably save it, and that was the only real danger that they produced. They did have a wee bit of possession in the last kind of 10 minutes when they tried to push for a goal. They had made 5 substitutions, but let's be honest, they didn't really lay a glove on us. In the entire second half, there was no a single shot on goal from a Celtic player, which when you go into the cauldron of Celtic Park, as it's often known, it just wasn't that difficult really. Finished 2-0. In terms of man of the match, it's for me got to be Goldson. Not just for his goals, I thought he was absolutely superb, really solid. Whenever the ball did go into the box, it was easily dealt with by Connor Goldson. I think the only mistake he did make was, as I said, in about the 15th minute mark when El Yunusi had that wee chance, but he didn't seem phased after that. He didn't kind of get like he normally does. I mean, sometimes, I think, was it against Hibs, he made a big high profile error that led to a goal, and for the next 5-10 minutes he was really shaky on the ball. He just didn't have any of that after he made that mistake against El Yunusi. He just looked solid through it. A couple of notable mentions. I thought the midfield 3 that we started with were excellent. Glenn Kamara in particular I thought was brilliant. Stephen Davis is just in the right place at the right time, and Scotty Arfield I thought was immense, obviously involved in that second goal as well. The thing with Davis as well that I kind of noticed, whenever they got forward or whenever they put the ball forward, I was just see Steve Davis run towards the ball, and I just wasn't really scared by it. I wasn't bothered at the fact that they were there, because I knew Steve Davis was there to kind of mop up anything, and just I thought he played really, really well. Morelos had a good game as well up front, obviously didn't score, but you know what, a lot has been made of the fact that he's not scored goals against Celtic, but you know what, I didn't care. He does other things in the game, he winds them up, he distracts the defenders for doing their job, and he creates space for other players. And if we are scoring goals in other areas of the pitch, I really don't mind the fact that Morelos isn't scoring. So obviously a fantastic win, puts us 4 points clear despite the fact that they've got a game in hand, but it puts a wee bit of pressure on them until the next Old Firm game. One thing I will say, we need to kind of make this count and not go to I think we've got Kilmarnock away coming up in a couple of weeks. I think it's 1st of November. We need to be ready for that game. We need to make sure that this game means nothing and it means something. So we didn't want a situation where we're dropping points away to Kilmarnock, and this game is kind of null and void, and it lets Celtic back in. We need to dominate the next few fixtures until the next Old Firm game, really. So that's one thing I will say. Another thing I'll say is I've seen so many comments. Oh, that was our reserves who's played. That wasn't our full team. Really, he's had what, 2 first team players missing, and Edward and Christie. The rest are what, I think it was El Hamid or whatever you call him. No exactly a first team player. I can't remember the name of the other boy near Bitten. No first team player in my eyes. We were missing Kamal Roof. We were missing Joe Rebo. He made a small cameo right at the very end of the game, but he's been injured for a good few weeks now. We've been missing these players. We've been missing Katic since the start of the season, who you've got to be saying it is a first team player who scored in the last game at Parkhead before today. So he's obviously a big player for us as well. So we're missing their players. Celtic are missing their 2 or 3 players. I don't see how that's any different from our team to their team, to be honest. So I don't agree with the fact that it's reserves. Obviously we've seen Chris Sutton's comments and that. Just take that with a pinch of salt, really. He's obviously hurting tonight, which is great. Another couple of things. I've seen comments on Facebook and social media and stuff. Oh, that's the League One, is it? She's won the league in November, or October, sorry. Same as she's won it in December last year. Well done, lads. Obviously try to be widos. Let me try and explain something to you if you're a Celtic fan or you're supporting another team or whatever. Let me just try and break this down for you. Rangers fans have been through unbelievable turmoil in the last 8 years, and whether you say, oh, it's your fault or whatever, I don't actually care. We've been down to the 3rd division. We've drawn with the likes of fucking Annan Athletic and East Fife and Ibrox. We've went through all that shit. I came up for the championship. We had a bang average team under Mark Warburton, which then got taken over for Pedro, then obviously Murray a couple of times. Our team was an absolute shambles back then. You remember the 4s and the 5-0s and the 5-1s and all that. The rest of the Celtic used to absolutely batter us when you got Big Bruno with a wee swagger walking about. And you got to remember he's swaggering about against like Joey Barton and Nico Crancher, who doesn't have any knees, and nothing against him, but he obviously wasn't fit enough. We're now in a position that's taken maybe 3 or 4 years to get to. We're not only now in a position to now compete against Celtic, we're actually better than them on a one-on-one game. We need to sort out the silly draws against the likes of Hamilton and Livingston and all the rest of it. But once we do that, we're a much better side than Celtic, and we've proved it time and time again. They beat us twice or 3 times last season. One of them was just a ridiculous offside decision, and I think the other ones were really close games where we were in it right up until the end of the game. So that's kind of where we're coming from. We're not saying we've won the league, but we're obviously delighted at the fact that we've come so far. So that's pretty much my point. We've come so far, and to get to this point where we're now, I'd say, a much better team than Celtic. And I know people disagree with that. It's your opinion, but the fact is we've dominated it once again on their own patch, and they didn't lay a glove on us. Bruno was nowhere to be seen. Just got a wee question for you. What colour is shite? I think it's brown. I think it's brown. The one thing I did want to say, obviously it finished 2-0. See, when we went to 2-0 up, I was really just a weird thing. Normally when I watch Old Firm games, I'm really nervy, really on edge. Even when we're a goal or 2 up, you think if they score, then they're right back in the game, they're right on top of you, and it's very nervy to watch. It's very similar to the games, like the really big games in the knockout stages of like Europe, for example. Like, as I said, like we played Galatasaray a couple of weeks ago, we were 1-0 up. If they had scored, it was bang on that they were obviously going to come back into the match, and it was quite nervy at times. But today was the first time in a long time that I've watched an Old Firm game, and I wasn't that bothered. I wasn't scared that they were going to score. Got a wee bit nervy when Lee Griffiths came on, I've got to say, but even then didn't lay a glove on us. Had that wee chance at the end, didn't do enough. So I was quite happy and quite comfortable. It was quite a strange thing to be that comfortable in an Old Firm game, if I'm honest. So yeah, I'm just going to leave the video there, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you're new to the channel and subscribe. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope you're a Rangers fan, and I've absolutely fucking loved that, because I did. Brilliant.